I've composed the music for such video games as Minimalist Rally, 2D, Yes My Warlord, and the upcoming Medieval Legends. Today, I'm answering up-and-coming composer questions about music, business, life, and everything else. So let's rock and roll and jump in. This is from my Questone program. I've got 3 different levels of coaching. We have a free school group, then we have Questone, and then we have the Gamer Music Creator Guild, which is my flagship coaching program. So this is from that sort of tier 2 in there. All right, let's share the screen and we're going to jump in. Okay, first question we have is actually not a question. It's a progress update from Charlie. Charlie just joined us a couple days ago. Welcome, Charlie, to Questone. Charlie says, I'm making small progress, about 20% through Music Maker Mindset course, which is fantastic, and was watching in a library, so was not doing the full participation. The Music Mindset course is unlike any course you've ever taken in your life. And excellent. Charlie's going to keep cooking on it. That's super awesome, Charlie. Keep going. Fantastic progress. Straight out of the gate, joining us here in Questone. Okay, and then we had a couple days ago. 60% done with the course. Charlie's doing great. Charlie, you are crushing it. Well done, sir. Okay, Ben is back in the saddle again. Ben, it's been a couple of months. And Ben looks like has, a couple of pieces. Ben has a wall of pieces for review. All right, let's jump in and start cranking them out here, shall we? Not cranking it out as in like it's a chore or anything. Ben, you're an awesome human, and I love your music. I just use that kind of language. All right, let's check it out. Ben, a treat as always listening to your music, and you've come so far, especially in the skill of mixing over the past couple months. So stoked for you. The one piece of feedback I have for you on this piece is actually the mix sounds pretty solid. Straight out the gate. For being a rough draft, this is sounding pretty good. The one thing I would invite you to consider is you have an opportunity, and I understand you have these low chords in the piano that are holding that low space, and I would still invite you to test out actually bringing in a bass. Now, whether that is going to be modeling an actual electric bass, maybe sort of like a stubby, warm, round, shorter sound, perhaps even a synth bass, something clean in terms of the sound, nothing distorted. But test out maybe bringing in a bass, because I'm hearing, especially this first section here, like you have the opportunity to bring in, at times, maybe not through the whole thing, but times, a little bit of a groove with a bass, or even just holding out that low end there. So that's one idea for you there. Other than that, absolutely fantastic. No notes. Okay, and next we have Diamond Dancer. Hold me close, my Diamond Dancer. It's time to plan the heist. So good, Ben. All right, Ben, awesome composition. Here I actually have something to suggest that you test out in terms of the mix. And that is going to be reducing the amount of reverb in sections or even across the board. Like those chime bells you have, there's a lot of reverb on those. And it seems like there's some reverb on some other things too there. That does create this wash, and it's a cool sound. And I would invite you to consider to create some contrast in this, because this is, right now, as it stands, it's amazing. It's like eating some really good sushi. Here's the thing. If you're eating really good sushi and all you have in front of you is salmon, how much are you really going to eat? Now, some of you sushi fans out there like, bro, hey, you just wait. The thing I'm inviting you to consider here is bringing in some more contrast. Maybe not even changing the composition necessarily, but changing the mixing in places. Because, you know, for a lot of video game music, having the ability to create a background piece that is not going to push its way into the foreground in terms of claiming attention, a lot of times is a move. We're hearing that here. This is fantastic. And still get us some contrast. Why? Because right now this is not paired with the game. Once you pair it with the game, maybe less contrast, maybe more. That's going to depend on you and the developer having that conversation. But for right now, listening through this from a music pure standpoint, a little bit of contrast, test out the reduction of reverb and or delay throughout the piece, and you can just test it out in different sections too. So actually get some contrast in different sections by bringing that wash effect you have down. Check out Moonstone Rain, and again, Ben, just absolutely tremendous stuff. All right, let's keep it going. Gorgeous. Nice. Okay, so for Moonstone Rain, Ben, here's what I would invite you to test out. Test out two things. Number one, more variation in the articulation in the bass and also the piano. And then you can, for that, you might test out some key switches in the bass depending on what bass you're using and depending on what piano you're using. Like you have that, do ga a dick boom. Do some short notes in the piano. Really emphasize some shorts. And same thing with the bass. Right now, all the bass attacks sound the same. Create some variation in the actual like sound and the you see how like right there, you can almost think like Michael Jackson-esque, like Sonic type thing where you have this percussive short thing. Bring a little bit of that in here. Awesome stuff, Ben. I think we might have a couple more here from Ben. And you know, it's funny. It's like I tell people when they're signing up for Questone, I was like, don't be afraid to ask questions. I've literally had people submit 20 pieces of music for me to listen to in a single week, and I get back on all of them. And what you can see right here is like, bro, this is so much fun and such a treat to be going through this amount of awesomely crafted with so much care and love music. All right, let's check out Goblin. Ben, just a high level thing, dude. Check out Chaka Khan. Like, I think I know you or I live you like I feel the sun in the morning. Check out some of that stuff. I think you'd really dig it based on some of these grooves I'm hearing. Nice. Good. Nice. Good job taking it to proper B section there. Contrast. Nice, dude. Nice. Okay, so great job with that contrasting B section. I'd invite you to consider get some more contrast here in the back half as well. You're so good at creating these soundscapes, these worlds that we're in, and get us some contrast while we're in there. Now, in terms of instruments, I could see an argument for leaving this exactly as it is. Why? It works. It's capturing the vibe of maybe kind of like a messy, almost comedic, but also a little bit evil type goblin situation. And it does that super well. You could test out adding in some like hurdy-gurdy. You could test out adding in some like circus organ. 2 ideas for you there. Other than that, fantastic piece. All right, let's keep it going to Entrusted. Good. Taking us somewhere different. All right, this is fantastic. Again, here, I would encourage you to test out creating some contrast between the sections. So you very effectively have created this feeling of movement, this motion, this internal motor. I'm messing the rhythm up the second time through because you changed it. But point is, take that idea and then change it. Force yourself to find something else, a contrasting thing, after about the first 20 or 30 seconds. And then come back to that once you hit the A section again. Right, when you get to about the 1 minute mark. So think about contrast too as in actually changing the way the motor is running inside the piece from a rhythmic perspective. All right, let's check out this next one. Last one. Time is at hand. Okay, so Ben, we're starting to spot two patterns here with what you shared. And thank you so much for sharing it so we can actually spot these. I like to call these meta patterns. A meta pattern is when you can see the sort of world someone's living in compositionally at a certain point in their life. And there's two pieces of feedback I have for you at a high level of the meta pattern that you're in right now. Number one is consider how much reverb you're using. Go back, revisit here, like the string engine you've created, the chum, chugga, chum, chugga, chum. There's a lot of reverb on that, which might be the effect you want, but it also might not be. Number two, create contrast with that rhythm. Change the rhythm up. We have one rhythm going through the whole thing, and I know this is all rough draft, so yes, disclaimer, disclaimer, disclaimer. But like really, test out bringing in something different. Force yourself to, like, as creative and as polished as you are with figuring out a melody and a world for that melody to live in, now take that same level of creativity and focus not just at the piece level, but now focus at the section level. So each section becomes its own mini world inside the incredible world you're building. You do that, as far as I can tell, and this is my opinion, it's going to take your music substantially to a higher and more, polished level. Absolutely fantastic. Thanks for your submissions there, Ben, and great to see you back in. Lucas is back with a fourth. Lucas has just been like crushing it lately. Lucas has been hitting the game jams hard. We got some pieces from the game jam. Let's check this out. Playing around with the blues, okay? All right, Lucas, awesome job with this. My question for you is around mixing. How much time did you spend mixing this, and did you test it out on different speaker systems? And did you avoid bumping the temptation when the bass didn't sound strong enough for you? Did you avoid the temptation of just cranking the low end and you actually sorted out to get the bass to speak the way you want it to in the middle range? That would be my question for you there. It seems to me like the bass is a little... Yeah, I revisit the mix on this. If you don't have a reference track that you're working from, take the time to find one. It's such a cool composition, it's such a cool vibe, and the one thing, for me anyway, it's the mix. So here's an interesting thing. I actually have a challenge for you, Lucas. First is to figure out some two types of delay that you're going to use in this piece right here. Just test out two different types of delay, one on one thing, one on something else. Just pick something to put some delay on. Now, my challenge for you is going to be this, is on the next piece of music that you compose, you're not going to put a harmony below A3. A3 is going to be your lowest harmony note. So you have to structure your harmony in a higher register, would be my challenge for you. And then to navigate that, be like, oh, this is not a sound maybe I want right now. And then ask yourself, is it a sound that I don't want right now? Or is it a sound that I haven't quite figured out how I want to use it yet? An interesting challenge there for you, sir. All right, lastly, for today, we have Junho. Junho put in the work this week. Oh my goodness. Junho's literally been with us for 7 days and has now crushed all the way through into instrumental inspiration and literally made so many rhythm sketches. Oh my goodness. Junho, respect to you. Respect. Look at this. Wow, lots of variation. I'm seeing some things being the same, like 90 looks to me to be about the same as 102, if I'm not mistaken. Yeah. Okay, so you took the ABCs. I see what you're doing here. Awesome. Okay, so here's what's going on here, because this might just look like a whole lot of a lot. But if we understand that this is an A idea, this again is an A idea, this is an A idea, this is a B idea, we have an A, B. Next we have A, again A, and then B. So we have A, B. Then we have A, B again, A, B again, okay, A, B, A, B. Okay, so my one piece of feedback so far, A, unless I'm missing something, no, A. Ah! Here we have A, no, B again, okay, A, B, A. Oh, now we're getting some shifts. Okay, so we got 2 A's and then a B. Now we got 2 B's in a row. Okay, fantastic. So here's my one piece of feedback for you, is to think in groups of 4. So this is a fantastic job. Now, actually, what I would invite you to do is it might take you 30 minutes, it might take you an hour, but by doing this, you're actually going to get your brain to think in terms of groups of 4. So actually restructure this so that you have 4 measures on each line, and that, do that, and then you're actually going to be able to see the patterns a lot more clearly. And this whole pattern creation thing is going to make sense for you. And while we don't always need to force ourselves into thinking in 4 measure groups, when we do think in 4 measure groups, it is like so useful in such an unlock, right? And then, to be clear, it can also become a cage, right? Because then you're just thinking in 4 measure groups, but it's also a great place to start. In the same way, you might say, well, if I've got training wheels on my bike, I feel like I'm very limited by the fact that it's like, yeah, but start with training wheels. Then let's take them off later. So start by thinking in groups of 4. And here, I definitely would recommend groups of 4. Now, I see a couple questions in the chat here. Glitch Phoenix says, Moonstone's Rain made me think we were about to go into Lovely by Stevie Wonder based on Lifting Beautiful. And Skunk Paw says, hey, I've been thinking of joining your music program. What are some of the things I can expect going into it? Well, it really depends on which one. So what we're looking at right now is Questone. Questone is a more relaxed, it's at your own pace type of a vibe and type of a feeling. And this is where you get access to the courses. You ask me as many questions, as many pieces you want, and I just get back to you on Saturday. It's as you go. I'll do it now, I'll do it later. There's no real sort of expectations there. You know, we want you to at least have 5 hours a week that you can put into music. And then at the level of the Gamer Music Creator Guild, which is my signature flagship program, for that, you can expect that you're going to be seeing me once a week in a live session at the very, very least. And within that as well, we expect you to be able to be putting in at least 7 hours a week into music, and that is the bare minimum. And the Gamer Music Creator Guild is really about people who want to get a result, want to get their music out there and get it out now. Whereas Quest Tone, yes, you still might want the result, you still might want to get your music out there now, but you might want to have a little bit more of a meandering journey. Whereas Quest Tone, it's like all about efficiency. It's all about we're going here, we're going now. We get your results. We have like under right now, I think it's 70.8 days, something like that, for someone to come into our program and have their first piece out on Spotify, YouTube Music, Apple Music. It's all about getting results and getting results fast. Now, that said, if you want to learn more about the programs, I'll drop a quick info thing here in the chat. We've been working on our blog of late. So now we have a lot more info out there, and I'm going to drop this in the chat. This will tell you all about the Gamer Music Creator Guild, and I'm going to find the chat in a minute. There we go. Yeah, you can check out a little bit more about it there. That'll answer some FAQs and get you an overall understanding what's going on with the Gamer Music Creator Guild. And high level, the message I have to you is like hop on a call with someone from my team, because we have all these different tiers and we really want to find something that works best for you, for exactly where you're at. Get on a call. That's why we have our calls. Sit down. We've got incredible people who fully understand everything that we have here to offer and understand how music works. Everyone makes music who you're going to be speaking to. And so they actually will help you understand and decide and pick what's the right choice for you right now. Because what's right for you right now might not be right for you a year from now, might not be what was right for you last year. And we really want to understand exactly what your goals are, what speed you want to go at, what results you're after, and then partner with you to get those results. All right, I'll see you guys in the next one. Congratulations and awesome job to all of our Quest Tone members here. Again, this was Quest Tone Music Review. I'll see you guys in the next one. Take care and